And so, such a profoundly beautiful part of this unfolding of grace in a human life is the recognition that we're not here to transcend the human life. For sure, we transcend the mind. We transcend the mind being the only reality that we know, and the mind seeming to be the master, the knower. And we shift the sense of the knower to God, to Brahman, right? We shift the sense of what the knower is. And when we align with what the knower truly is, then we no longer need to know with the mind in order to protect. And we open to a transcendent reality. But we don't transcend life. We're not here to escape life. And it can be one of the great misunderstandings, particularly in the realm of non-duality, that if we haven't really completed, let's say, the unfolding of what the non-dual, the true non-dual direct experience is, then we might mistake the opening to the transcendent field to be some kind of resting place or some kind of place of attainment or achievement. But if we are not fully integrated in our human lived experience, then we will very much notice a sense of not feeling whole and not being able to navigate life, not even particularly enjoying life. And what we discover in that is often our deep mistrust in life. And that, of course, we would rather get away from life. Of course, where we mistrust life, where we fear life, where we feel not good enough, where we feel like we don't fit in, where we feel like we don't belong. Of course, if we discover a place where we're away from everything that feels hard about life, it can be very appealing to hang out there and to really explore there and to explore the realms of the absolute, explore the realms of light divine. Of course, there's incredible relevance and beauty because we open to the metaphysics, we open to the frequencies of intelligence that give us a ground of being. But the fullness of this unfolding of grace is that we are absolutely being called to return to live an integrated experience. And in a way, this is the part of the unfolding that can feel the most bumpy, the most turbulent, because we're being asked to face everything that we would like to get away from and everything that we thought we got away from, right? Like, why is this coming up again? Like, why is this happening? Surely, if I know the peace and glory of God, if I have been resting in the lap of the Divine Mother, if I know what love is, then surely I must be failing now. And of course, there's the clue, because the part of life that we're being invited back into is the place that thinks that it's possible to fail at life, the one that's afraid of life, the one that mistrusts life, the one that feels like they don't fit into this world, right? But most beings that are here as mature souls that have the capacity to realize the true nature and to really live this and be a beacon of light, an emanation of love in this lifetime, most often will have felt like, I don't belong here. I mistrust this life, because it's part of the way that the intelligence has wired the play of life in a way to guide us to discover the reality, the transcendent reality, the true reality beyond the mind-body. Much of the human collective believes that the mind-body is the only reality, that misery and stress and suffering is just part of life. But as we open to recognize what is beyond in the realms of consciousness, what is beyond the mind-body in limitation as an idea of who we are, we open to a reality that yes, we transcend the mind. We transcend believing that what the mind tells us is the gospel. And we open to an intelligence that is truly wise, right? But we're never being invited to transcend life. We're never being invited to give up life, get away from life. And we will always be, the intelligence will always be calling us to constantly integrate. Now, as we open to the realms of God and glory, we might resist the, the invitation to integrate, because the realms of God and glory and the absolute and the idea there's nothing really here, nothing really happened, nothing is really happening. It's all an appearance. And of course, there's a truth to that. But when we actually know that truth, that we really embody that truth, then embodying of that truth lands us in a recognition that there's nothing to escape from. It's actually that truth that makes us fearless. It's actually that truth landing and being embodied that allows us to truly embrace and engage in the human life, and to allow the full integration and the miraculous undividing all the way through the multidimensional lived experience to actually happen, which brings us to a depth of freedom that we've been longing for all along, a depth of freedom that we know is possible because it is who we already are. And that depth of freedom is love. And what it opens is our capacity for love, to love and be loved, to be love, and to resonate and live at a frequency as an emanation of love, which is essentially everything that we're longing for. And as long as that longing is there, then it just reveals to us that there's more to discover. And if we let go of any kind of idea that we've achieved anything, and we truly don't land anywhere, however beautiful what we are living, that we truly don't land anywhere. And one very important thing to recognize is that as we experience the bumpiness of life, we're not losing what we have realized in the realms of light and pure consciousness and the revelation of true nature. We're actually being invited to embody it and live it. This is how we bring the light back to the surface of life. We bring the light back through embodying the light, being a body of light. We bring the light back to the surface of life to be a beacon of life, a frequency that is a frequency of love on the surface of life for all of humanity. We bring that back by embodying the light and allowing the alchemical transmutation and transformation to take place in our lived experience and multidimensionally. So in our physicality, in the realms of the mental, in the realms of the intelligence, in the realms of really opening the bliss body, the body of nectarine sweetness, right? So that we can, in our lived human experience, truly be integrated multidimensionally, right? So when we are opening and coming to deeper sense of presence and stillness and recognition of the God and glory and the celebration of what it already is and who we are, the recognition of reality, when we start to experience challenging things arising, we're not failing. We're meeting the one that thinks that it's possible to fail. We're meeting the shame. We're meeting the guilt. It doesn't mean that we're not functioning. It doesn't mean that our realization isn't true. It means that there's still doubt in us, right? Or there's one that can doubt. And when we trace back all of these feelings like I'm doing something wrong, I must be doing something wrong because I'm experiencing this, or I'm going to be disconnected from love, I'm going to lose love. What we're actually touching into is our core belief in separation, the core belief that it's possible to be divided. And then, alleluia, that we're being invited to see what it is and be able to bring the light, the love, light, intelligence of what we are opening to the very core place where division can continue to happen and keep us trapped, held captive by the mind, in a sense of being divided, even if we know that it's absolutely impossible to be divided, right? The magic of love is that it just keeps coming back for all of itself. Because love already knows that there is only love. And so the technology of love, loving itself, just continues to embrace itself. And the way that love operates is by creating a reflection in the play of life so that we actually can see what we are blind to, so that we actually can see what is unconscious and ready for transmutation, that is actually coming forward to be included in the light and the field of the one heart. And so as these words are coming, just to notice what is resonating, what are you experiencing? Just notice the resonance within the intelligence that you are, that recognizes, that cognizes, and kind of settles into a sense of, oh yeah, that feels true. I know this truth. This truth is known here, right? That we open to. And we allow a softening of the places that are held or holding still some shame and guilt and doubt. And that we realize that only our own mind is judging our experience. Love is not judging us. Love just loves, right? There's no one other than you judging your experience. You should be doing it better. You're getting it wrong. You should have already moved beyond this by now. Not this again, right? All of the ways. But whatever comes, as soon as it's judged and shut down because like, oh my God, really? Really? Not that again, right? Or again, that judgment, that criticism. As soon as that frequency comes in, there's a resisting what grace is bringing for us to meet. And it's this young part and this multi-lifetime frequency that's actually ready in this lifetime to come into integration. And so instead of resisting it, we should be kind of pulling out the trumpets and making a fanfare, right? Oh, that was a little off key. But who cares, right? It's a celebration. It's a celebration. It's like, here it comes, the biggest thing that keeps me bound. It's not like, oh no, failing, let me find God, let me find God. Let me find God and get away from this. It's like, no, what if I meet this and I say, this is welcoming God. This is welcoming the fullness of God. God is walking right into my heart right now, right into my life, my mind. Love is walking right in on full display. And yes, it's feeling really challenging in this moment. But what if the glory is walking right in with the possibility of meeting the deepest core holdings that keep me bound? And what if I'm not failing? What if that sense that I'm failing, I'm getting it wrong, is actually part of this core holding? The shame of failing, the shame of not being good enough, right? The feeling of I'm doing it wrong. The feeling of everyone else has got it except me. I'm lacking, I'm deficient. I don't operate in this world. I don't fit in. I don't belong. This is too hard for me. I'm not worthy of this. I just actually can't do it. I'm not up to it. All of the ways, right? Just recognize where that resonates in your system and your sense of experience. And instead of resisting, are we ready, willing, and saying yes to actually letting the light shine upon, letting the love include, and letting the alchemy of the eternal flame burn away the beliefs, burn away the energetic holding patterns that would have us protect. How does it feel in this moment to feel like you can meet, or you could meet, the deep places, right? How does it feel to realize that you're not failing ever? And actually everything that we are creating, everything that is happening in the life is an offering of grace. And if we actually bow before it, instead of resisting as if we're being given something that is beyond our capacity, or just that something is appearing that is disturbing our peace, if you don't mind, no, right? Please don't disturb my peace. It's like, if my peace can be disturbed, then I want to know what can disturb my peace. And I want to invite that elephant in the room to come and sit with me. And I want to meet what could possibly disturb my peace with love and care. Because the more intimate we actually get with our own adventure of unfolding, the more intimate we actually get with the intelligence. So the more present we are with what is happening, we actually also get given the grace of being able to see the metaphysics and the intelligence of how this is all working, and to realize that we're never powerless, that we're never beyond our capacity, and in that we're never ever a victim to life. That we have this capacity to be with ourself and our adventure. And anything and everything that happens in that, the contemplation, the explorations, even the processing, whatever it takes, right? Our adventure, your adventure is yours. It's uniquely yours. But to come into a sense of empowerment where you can be intimate. You can be intimate with the fullness of your experience, and you can also know when you need companionship or support or reflection. And none of that is wrong. This is not an invitation to come into a self-reliant independence, where you're cut off and feeling, I have to do this alone. Because absolutely not. We're here to walk together. We're here to share together. But if we create walls around us because of shame and guilt arising, or projection arising, if we create walls around us, we will feel like the support is not there, but actually we're blocking the support, right? Because the feeling of I've done something wrong, or I need to do this, or I've been wronged, or something wrong is happening in the field here, then that kind of energy, the energy of fear and resistance, will structure the sense of your life to fulfill your expectations that you are being rejected or abandoned or ignored or not seen, right? What we believe and what we expect is what we create. We can have like the fullest love, like right in front of us. But if we believe that we are unlovable, we won't see it. We will make a demon out of that, right? We have that possibility to turn anything that is in front of us into whatever we are seeing it as. And of course, none of that is wrong. It's an incredible opportunity to keep meeting the places that protect, the places that are afraid. And in a way, it could feel like, wow, I'm right in the depths of something really hard and God is punishing me? Like, how cruel is that, right? But it's not a punishment. It's an invitation to actually be able to kind of not get what the me wants in order that we find where that frequency is that is blocking, where that frequency is that is holding us captive in and pulling us away from the full resources of love, of light, right? So just to notice as we are sharing here, as we are opening here, what is happening in your field? What are you noticing? And just opening to be with yourself, receive yourself, whatever is coming. There can be no mistakes. We're all unique, and our unfolding is very unique, and being able to honor the uniqueness of our unfolding, and that we're not like in our human experience, it's not a cookie cutter thing. And that's where we want to be very aware of comparison and like the energy of competition, and judging ourselves and pitching ourselves against, rather than being in a complete intimacy with our own lived experience, and being able to honor the uniqueness of what we are bringing, what we are unfolding, what we are unwinding for the collective. And to know that whatever we are uniquely living with and being with and unraveling and opening to and blossoming into is a gift to the whole. It's a part of one whole that is moving as a murmuration, right? Moving fully together, always, always unified, always one. And in a way, it's the more that we can allow and embody the uniqueness of who we are and what is unfolding for us, that actually allows us to not resist and to not make our experience wrong and not feel like we need to be more like blah, blah, right? But to come into an autonomy with our unique experience, and to recognize that the more that we come into an autonomy, it's like it allows us to be more authentic and real. and resourced from source, so connected to the true power, where we're not feeling like we're doing something wrong, but also we're able to be vulnerable. We're able to share what is vulnerable and not feel like we're failing or being judged. And so it shifts the ways that we communicate to being more real. It allows us to be more real, more authentically aligned. And this happens as we collapse the seeming division. And so then we open to realize that the transcendent reality is the ground of silent being, that the transcendent reality is the grace and the glory of where we know the infinite, boundless, unlimited nature of our true being, and we embody it. It's where we recognize the eternal, timeless nature of our true being, that spans beyond the life of the body mind. And it allows us to embody that and to live fearlessly, to truly embrace the integrated living of a human life. So we don't want to get stuck in the transcendent as a place to hide, but we don't want to push away the transcendent as if the transcendent is a place of spiritual bypassing, because it's truly not. It's a place where bypassing can happen. But when we truly open to the transcendent reality, when we truly open, we realize that that the opening to the transcendent knowing of our being and the recognition that we're not limited to the mind body, and that there's a beyond, a pure consciousness that is flowing to unify itself. And our knowing of that doesn't take us out of life. It actually invites us to turn more fully into life, to be more fully engaged. It doesn't ask us to leave behind, but it does upgrade and reorganize our life so that we're not living in patterns of attachment and dynamics that we created out of the frequency of fear and limitation. We get upgraded, we get called to upgrade everything. Everything is always being called to be upgraded so that we can truly embody and be who we are here to be, the one unique being that you are here to be, as the one divine wholeness in expression, right?